everyone, it's Natalia, and it's a brand new year, and I had a request from someone asking me to tell you all how I make these pictures for my nails. So today is what we're going to do. We're going to talk about nail decals. So I use nail decals a lot, mostly because I started doing nails to make little K-pop fandom nails. And so, my collection there's a lot of them. So I've kind of have perfected the way that I do them personally. I'm sure there's multiple ways that people have made nail decals, but this is just the way I do them for anyone interested. They're really versatile. You can print pretty much anything you want on them as long as you have a printer, and make all sorts of different designs. You can even ombre over them. You can mix them with stickers, paint them, put over line work, anything you want. So I think that they're pretty versatile and useful. And I'm going to show you everything you need to make them today. So yeah, let's get going. So first you're going to need some waterslide decal paper. I get this on Amazon, the Koala brand, in white. It comes in both white and transparent. I use both. So I mostly use the white because you can put it on any color background. You can put it over painted lines. As you can see, you don't have to worry about transparency, but I also do use the clear, and one specific thing is that I put them over silver magnetic polish, and it has a really cool look because it will show whatever you're putting under. So you can use it for just white or light colored nails, but the white one's going to be far more useful for most nail applications. So that's what we use for this video. So you're going to need some spray sealant and clear semi-gloss. I use the Rust-Oleum brand. I got that at the hardware store. You're going to need an inkjet printer. I have an Epson ink, fancy one, but any household inkjet will do. You're going to need some scissors, some X-Acto knife, maybe a cutting mat. I tend to use both scissors and an X-Acto blade, depending on the decal. And you're also going to need some photo editing software. You can do this on pretty much any photo editing software, but I do have Photoshop. So that is what I will be showing. And here we go. So first off, we're going to set up a document, an 8.5 by 11 white background. And then you're going to need to go and find your nail sizes. So I use soft gel brand nails, and lots of nail companies will do this, where if you go on their website to the shape of nails that you use, and then you click in, they will have an entire sizing guide. And I just copy that image and I paste it directly into Photoshop. So what's important for this is you're going to need the length of the nail and then the inner curve. You're going to make a new layer because we're going to make some what I call sizing squares. So using the rectangular marquee, you're going to put it on fixed size. And then this is in millimeters with soft gel. You're going to take the length of the nail and put that in millimeters. You put the length. I always add 0.2-ish millimeters extra. I like having it a bit more room. And then you're going to take the inner curve. I did it backwards, but you can just flip that. And then you're going to fill that with a color. This was for the biggest nail. Now you can do it for every single nail if you want to be super precise, or just the nails that you use for your own set. But since I make them for my friends, I just pick a big one, a middle one. I basically do 4 sizes just so that I can estimate between them. So again, you're just going to take the inner curve, add it a little bit, make it a little bit bigger just because I like having a little bit of room. And you're just going to make a line of these squares. Now I do this for every sort of nail shape and length that I use commonly. So this is for the round short, but on this document, I also did, I think, round medium, which is what I use for myself and one of my friends. And then I did an extra short so that we have a nice variety that, depending on who I'm making the nail decals for, I can size it out to approximately what length of nail that they like. So I'm doing the smallest nail as well, so I can have a little size gamut to sort of estimate the decal sizes. They can be a little bit bigger or smaller. I don't normally do full cover decals because they're hard to sort of fit across the curve of a nail, but if you're not concerned about that, this is perfect. If you are, you got to be a little bit more precise. So I just write the name, and as you can see, I have done it for coffin extra short as well, and I have all of these little sizing squares that we can use when we have images to make sure they are approximately right size that we need. I'm just going to line them up and put them in a little folder so that I have them to refer to when I get, when I get the nails that I need. So next you're going to need some images. I usually just get them off the internet. Here we have some Heated Rivalry images, which may come up later this month. And I just want to get rid of the backgrounds on them. So you're going to need to hover over the wand tool and select the quick selection tool, which you can use to quickly select the background. And you can just hit the delete button on your keyboard and it'll delete it. This one there was quite a separation between the background and the foreground. So this one was pretty easy to do. I then had to take the eraser tool. There was a little bit of an extra line, so I'm just erasing that. And that's basically how you can do it for a pretty non-complicated one. So I'm doing the same thing here, but I have noticed that there is a little bit of an overhang, like where it didn't quite pick it up right. So you can go in, make sure you have the negative selected if you're doing the background, and just select around the image that you don't want to be deleted. And make sure that you're getting everything into this that you want. And then I realized down under his armpit, so I'm going up there, selecting the plus symbol on the controls. And then you can just delete that as well. And use the eraser button for anything, these little lines that are sometimes left over because, it is what it is. Sometimes though, like we're going to see in the image above, it's a little more complicated to do. So I'm selecting the background. And at first it's going pretty great. And then when I get in here, I realize like a bunch of their face has also been selected. Because sometimes, Photoshop is not perfect at this. So you select the negative to remove the selection. I'm just going around and refining the selection to make sure it's got everything I'm looking for. But dang it, it picked up the background. You can always press Control-Z or Command-Z, depending on if you're on a Windows or Mac, and keep going. But it is still doing it. So you just got to be really careful. And like that. Once you're pretty happy with the selection, you can open up the Select and Mask menu. Now I'm still refining this. This one gave me a little bit of a problem. Keep in mind, which I forgot to do when I'm opening the Select and Mask menu, that if you've selected the background, you need to actually invert the selection first. So you'll see I go in here, click Select and Mask. Whoops, it's the background selected. So you just click Cancel. You go to Select, Invert. It'll now select what you're actually looking to select here. So then you can zoom out. Now, often it'll sort of red out. It'll cover with like color what will be removed when you add a mask to it. So you can actually change the color, fit your needs. I like to fix the smooth and the contrast so that it's like a bit more of a crisp line. And then to make sure everything looks good, change it to a color that really contrasts with the background so you can like see what you're doing. So I'm using green here is the one that I finally went with because it's opposite red. And so I'm pretty happy with how that looks. So I'm going to click OK. And then down here in the bottom, you can click your little mask tool, which is just like a rectangle with a circle in it. And we'll remove the background. Then you can right click over it and click Apply Layer Mask. And you are ready to resize these images. So for this one, this is for my friend who wears extra short nails. She has very tiny little nail beds. So we are going to be making sure that they fit over the smallest little size that I got here. So I'm just taking away the other ones. And we are going to hit Command T or Control T, or if you go to Edit and Free Transform, we're just going to, if you go to Edit, you can click Free Transform. These are all the transform tools. You just need that one. Command T, Control T. And then we are just going to size it down so that it fits within the nail size that I'm trying to fit it in. I always size them just like a little bit wider than I need because of, I like to have options here. And we're just going to resize these other two images to fit the approximate nail sizes that I'm looking for. These are going to be more on smaller nails. And then that is basically them resized. And then I tend to just flatten them all into one layer together and then work on the rest. Sometimes if you have like a really busy background, I start by selecting the main, the character, the individual that I would like to put on a nail. And then I use the polygonal lasso tool to refine it a bit. So you can make sure that everything's nice and crisp. But if there's some parts missing, you can always go back in and on the mask before applying it, you can use the brush tool to add in any that has been removed. If you use it on white, it will add it in. If you use it on black, it will erase it. And then you just resize it to the size that you need. As you can see, I've got a whole bunch here. I tend to double up on my prints in case they mess up. So the first thing you want to make sure to do before you print is to take away your sizing square layer. That would be terrible to have it. I use an Epson EcoTank printer. And here are my print settings. Just, get the usual, the basics. And then if you go into printer options, print settings, you can see I'm doing it from the rear paper feeder. I'm glossy photo paper, your highest quality you can if you have these options. And then you just want to click print. Always leave little margins around the edge. Stick that into the printer. My printer is a bit of a beast. It's a lot bigger than I think most people's home printers because I am also an illustrator, so I do tend to print large images like, poster size images from it. A regular home printer will work for this. And as I said, I do print them double just in case I mess up with cutting or applying. I like having a little extra just in case. As you can see, I have a whole sheet here that I've filled out with various nail things for my friends. And now we need to seal it. Always spray paint outdoors in a well-ventilated manner. I would normally go all the way out onto my balcony, but it is snowing. So I'm just sort of holding it out the door. You want to give it a good, you don't want to make it too thick, but you want to give it a good layer or two spray. Because the way that these work is we have to put them in water and you don't want the ink to run. So this is what's going to protect it from that happening. So give it a spray while holding it on one side. Make sure it looks good. And then rotate it and give it one final spray for where I was holding it. And then you just let it dry and we are ready to cut. So today I'm just going to be showing this bottom one here. I'm going to make myself some X-Love nails. So I'm just cutting out the basic decals off of the sheet. Putting that to the side. And I do sort of a combination of scissors and X-Actos. So if there's no like inner bits that need to be removed, I just use a pair of sharp, small scissors. Cuticle scissors would work great for this, but I have a little pair of small little craft scissors. And I just carefully cut all the way around. This does sometimes take some practice. So cut slowly and carefully. It's sort of like if you got into collaging when you were young, it's going to really serve you well for this. So here we have one fully done, fully cut and ready to go on a nail. Now, in this next one, if there are little bits that need to be removed from like that you can't cut with scissors, that's what I pull out an X-Acto blade for. I have like a super sharp one. Be very careful when using this. Do not cut towards your fingers as best you can. And then once you cut all around, just sort of peel the top layer off. I tend to not cut pressing hard enough so that it goes all the way through to the backing paper. I just sort of leave that on and just remove the little white layer. That's just worked better for me, and I don't have to put so much pressure and make it a little bit less dangerous to use the X-Acto knife. Very carefully cut around any of the bits that you need to remove, and then remove the negative space, and you're ready to apply them to your nails. So once the middle is out, we're just going to cut around the edges. Some shapes are a little more challenging than others to cut around, and my only advice for this is really just to take it really slow. Don't use scissors that are too big. Like, the smaller and sharper the scissors, the better, because you'll have an easier time sort of navigating around complex shapes if they're not big and bulky. And to just go slow, take your time, and just keep practicing, because it took me a while to get good at getting really close in to the edges. So once you have like your nail base done, I add a layer of base coat, which is what I have found the nails really stick to the best. The decals really stick to the best when doing this. So fully cure that, a full 60-second cure. Now, using room temperature water, just in a little container here, I'm taking the decal and I'm just sort of floating it on top of the water. You do not have to fully submerge these. Only the back needs to be wet for these. So I am letting it sort of do its thing and get wet. And then I like to put it ink side down on a paper towel to absorb any excess water that may have gotten on top of it, because they don't need to be soaking wet. And when you let it sit for a few seconds, once you slide it, it should easily slide right off. And then when you flip it, you've got your decal. Now, I like to use tweezers to place it exactly where I want it to go. And then once I have it in place, I use a clean gloved finger to gently but firmly press it down into place, making sure to press it over any edges. You want sort of as clean as possible of application for this. And then using a file, gently file away any of the overhang. Treat this sort of like when you're doing chrome on a nail, like a chrome rub. You want to sort of file any overhang on the edges so that you can fully cap it in so it doesn't chip. Because these will lift if you do not fully seal them in. Once they are looking good, I like to put a thin layer of base coat, fully keeping everything in together before doing any sort of painting or additional stickers or whatnot on top of it, just so that I can be sure that there's going to be very little chance of the decal lifting or peeling. So I just put like a nice layer over here. We can cover that. Make sure you get around the edges. And then we are going to fully cure that to seal it in before you do anything else to the nail. So all I did was add a few little stars and then top coated it with some medium viscosity top coat. And that's the whole nail set. That's how you do nail decals. It seems like a lot of effort, but it is very easy once you get going with it. And you can make absolutely adorable nails you could put pictures of your pets on it. You could put anything you want, basically, on your nails. And I think that's really cool. So anyway, thank you for hanging out with me. I'll be back next week with another video that may be using some decals that I made for this. Who knows? Let me know if you use this technique, and have a great week. I'll see you next time. Bye.